our family worship center.
Had been trying to sell his newspapers on a snowy winter day, but not a single customer had passed by because of the weather. And on his way home, he slipped into the back of a church just hoping to get warm. And after being moved by the sermon, the offering plate came to the boy when he did something remarkable. He stood up and he stepped right into the offering plate. And with tears in his eyes, the boy said, "Pastor, I don't have any money today because I haven't sold any newspapers. But if Jesus sacrificed his life for me, then I will gladly give my all to him." You see, ladies and gentlemen, the greatest sacrifice is given by the one who has nothing to give but himself. Paul says it this way in Romans 12:1, "In view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice." Today, I'd like to look at 3 principles on what true sacrifice will change. Firstly, it will change you. In Claiborne's book, The Irresistible Revolution, he told the following story. Mother Teresa was one of those people who sacrificed great privilege because she encountered such great need. And he said, "There is one thing I will never forget, and that is her feet. You see, her feet were deformed, and each morning in Mass I would stare at them. I wondered if she had contracted leprosy. And one day, a sister told us that her feet were deformed because they got just enough donated shoes. And Mother didn't want anyone to get stuck with the worst pair, so she dug through the pile of shoes. She found the worst-looking pair for herself, and years of sacrificing to those in need changed her, deforming her feet." You see, the sacrifice that gives will sometimes change you physically, like it did Mother Teresa, but it will always change you spiritually. Secondly, true sacrifice will change others. In the book of John chapter 6, the scripture tells us there was a great crowd following Jesus, and Jesus tested his disciples by asking them, "Where should we buy bread for these people to eat?" And it was at this point one of the disciples brought over a boy with 5 loaves and 2 fish, offering them to be used. And knowing what would happen, Jesus took the food, he gave thanks for it, and it was multiplied. You see, it was this boy's willing sacrifice that led to 5,000 others being changed. And how did it change others? They went from being physically hungry to physically satisfied. This boy did not simply give 5 loaves and 2 fish. His sacrifice gave Jesus the opportunity to perform a miracle. And today, what is in your hands to sacrifice that will give Jesus the opportunity to change others? Thirdly and lastly, true sacrifice will change my generation. Because you see, ladies and gentlemen, I live in the generation who cares more about the label on their back than the one in their heart. I live in the generation who has experienced more pain from tattoo and body piercings than the pain of being rejected for Jesus. I live in the generation who is tolerant of diversity but intolerant of the truth. I live in the generation who is selling out to corporate America when the price for their freedom has already been paid on Calvary. And looking into history, we see those who have changed their generation. In 1956, 5 men, spurred by a passion to share Christ, ventured into the remote jungles of Ecuador. They knew that this tribe of savage people had a record of killing all strangers. And after finding themselves surrounded by the spears of these men, when they could have easily defended themselves with weapons, instead they sacrificed, they trusted God, they laid down their lives, and by doing this, they changed their generation. You see, it was through their sacrifice that countless men and women today have gone on to be missionaries and on the mission field, regardless of the cost. You see, a true sacrifice, it will change you, it will change others, and it will change our generation. Ezekiel asked if there is anyone willing to stand in the gap to change their generation. And today, I am asking the same question to all of us. Who will stand and sacrifice with me to change this generation?